To survive in woke culture, you have to become a liar. You have to pretend that you think fat is beautiful. You have to pretend to be race obsessed. You have to pretend that you think Dylan Mulvaney is a woman.
Are you tired of the woke agenda in Hollywood? Hollywood used to be the heart of entertainment. Movies, music, and television that brought people together, transcending race, politics, and personal beliefs. But in recent years, that's changed. More and more, Hollywood has become a loudspeaker for ideological messaging, leaving many viewers asking, when did entertainment stop being entertaining? Whether it's lectures at the Oscars or rewriting beloved franchises to fit a new narrative, many Americans feel alienated by a system that seems more concerned with being progressive than being relatable. The phrase woke Hollywood has become a flashpoint in the culture war, with conservatives, moderates, and even some liberals voicing frustration. Audiences are tuning out. Streaming services are bleeding subscribers. Big-budget blockbusters are flopping at the box office. Why? Because the everyday viewer is tired of being talked down to by millionaire celebrities who are detached from the realities of working-class life. The growing divide between Hollywood elites and their audiences has never been wider. In this climate, a moment on the Drew Barrymore show set off a firestorm. When Drew Barrymore knelt before transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney in an emotional exchange,
Mulvaney's daily Days of Girlhood has apparently had more than 1 billion views.
It was seen by many as a symbol of just how deep the industry's virtue signaling has gone.
It got weird on the Drew Barrymore show. Dylan Mulvaney went on Drew Barrymore's talk show to talk about the popular TikTok series Day of Girlhood.
It wasn't just awkward, it was for critics a moment that perfectly captured the performative nature of the Hollywood woke machine. And no one called it out louder than Candace Owens. Enter Candace Owens. The culture warrior Candace Owens is no stranger to controversy or clarity. Over the last several years, she has built a brand by challenging progressive dogma and exposing what she sees as hypocrisy in the media, politics, and especially Hollywood.
I think Hollywood's demonic, so I don't model myself after people in Hollywood. Just my grandma and all of the stay-at-home moms who give every bit of themselves every day to their children.
With millions of followers and a strong presence on social media and streaming platforms, Owens represents a countercultural force that resonates with those who feel left behind by liberal institutions. When the Drew Barrymore-Dylan Mulvaney segment aired, Owens didn't hesitate to weigh in. In a scathing post, she described Barrymore's behavior as desperate, criticizing what she called entirely awkward pandering that reflected the rot of modern celebrity culture. She argued that this wasn't about inclusion, it was about submission. The image of a wealthy Hollywood figure literally on her knees wasn't empowering, she claimed. It was infantilizing, both to Barrymore and to women everywhere watching. What's powerful about Owens' reaction is how sharply it contrasts with the Hollywood response. While major outlets praised the beautiful exchange, average Americans online were far less forgiving. Comment sections across YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit were flooded with comments mocking the moment, calling it cringe, forced, and embarrassing. Owens gave a voice to that growing frustration, and she did it unapologetically.
Hollywood is completely being used as a form of psychological entrapment, as a form of mass psychological brainwashing.
Hollywood's transformation from cultural touchstone to ideological mouthpiece didn't happen overnight. Over the last decade, the industry has shifted its focus from storytelling to messaging, elevating political narratives and identity-based agendas over characters and plot. While this might score points in elite circles, it's alienating for millions of regular people who just want entertainment without the lecture. What we're seeing is a massive cultural disconnect. On one side, you have actors and producers living in million-dollar bubbles, virtue signaling about issues they often don't fully understand. On the other, you have Americans in rural towns and working-class cities wondering why their favorite shows now feel like college sociology lectures. This isn't just about politics, it's about relevance. Hollywood keeps talking at its audience, not to them. Candace Owens has long argued that this disconnect isn't accidental, it's intentional. The progressive agenda being pushed by Hollywood elites is designed, in her view, to reshape societal norms and values through subtle, persistent messaging. Whether it's casting choices, rewritten histories, or overt dialogue, the new Hollywood isn't about creativity, it's about conformity. And the people watching, they're beginning to notice and reject it. Examples of wokeness in Hollywood are everywhere, and Candace Owens has made it her mission to call them out. From Disney replacing classic characters with new, politically correct versions, to award shows pushing social commentary over actual talent, the industry has been rewriting its image in a way that often feels more performative than progressive. Take the case of the new Snow White. Rachel Zegler, the lead actress, publicly mocked the original story, and Prince Charming, calling it weird and outdated.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah. Weird. Fans weren't impressed. Then there's the backlash against blockbuster flops like the Marvels and Lightyear, movies heavily marketed for their representation and messaging, but which ultimately bombed at the box office. Critics like Owens point to these failures as proof that pushing identity politics isn't a recipe for success. It's a liability. As she often says, get woke, go broke. The numbers speak for themselves. What's fascinating is how audiences are voting with their wallets. Independent films, faith-based productions, and even older, non-woke movies are seeing a resurgence. Owens sees this as a cultural correction. People are craving authenticity, not ideology. And if Hollywood continues to ignore that shift, it may find itself irrelevant, not because of a lack of talent, but because of an excess of agenda. The most explosive moment in Owens' critique came when she said, "This is what submission looks like. Not equality, not empowerment. Drew Barrymore is not uplifting Dylan Mulvaney. She's groveling before him. And for what? To score social points in a game no one else wants to play." That quote went viral. Right-wing media outlets picked it up. YouTubers reacted. Meme pages ran with it. Even some traditionally liberal-leaning voices admitted the moment felt off.
You. Oh, please. Do you want to know, ironically, who dislikes me the most sometimes?
Who?
Myself.
For all its intentions, Barrymore's kneeling didn't look empowering. It looked patronizing. It didn't send a message of strength, but of weakness. Owens captured that feeling and amplified it for the world to see.
You have to pretend that you think Dylan Mulvaney is a woman and should be included in female spaces.
This wasn't just a moment of internet commentary, it was a cultural gut check. Owens framed the incident not just as an awkward exchange, but as a symptom of something much larger: the feminization of strength, the erasure of traditional values, and the rise of ideological submission dressed up as progress. Whether you agree or not, she tapped into something very real, a feeling that Hollywood has lost its grip on what people actually respect. And perhaps the biggest impact of Owens' remarks is how they started a wider conversation. Other influencers, commentators, and even some celebrities began questioning the line between support and subservience. If every act of allyship looks like bowing down, are we truly building equality or reinforcing power dynamics in reverse?
I couldn't agree more, because another thing that you're making me realize.
In wrapping this up, it's important to recognize that moments like the Drew Barrymore-Dylan Mulvaney exchange don't exist in a vacuum. They reflect the broader changes in Hollywood and, more importantly, the backlash those changes are now fueling. Candace Owens didn't just react, she dissected the moment in a way that tapped into the cultural anxieties of millions. Whether you agree with Owens or not, her critique struck a chord because it challenged the unspoken rules of modern media. She questioned whether what we're watching is truly about inclusion or about control. That's a debate worth having, and one Hollywood can't afford to ignore. Because if it keeps choosing ideology over connection, it risks becoming a parody of itself. The industry now stands at a crossroads. Will it course correct and return to storytelling, or double down on the ideological path it's on? One thing's clear, the audience is no longer silent. And thanks to voices like Owens, they've found the confidence to say, enough. So now it's your turn. Was Candace Owens right? Did Drew Barrymore's moment go too far? Or was it simply misinterpreted by critics? Let us know in the comments. Seriously, we read them all. And if you're interested in this culture clash, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a beat in this wild ride we call modern media. Thanks for watching, and stay bold.